Renovating Retirement with Charlie Jewett. Oh no, I think I'm about to have another episode.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Charlie Jewett with the Renovating Retirement Podcast coming back to you after another break. I wish I could do these more often, but it's just the way it is. I'm still committed, though. I'm still committed. I'm going to do 150 of these if it kills me. May take me a year or two, but I'm going to get it done. The Renovating Retirement Podcast has now been live for almost 9 months. Can you believe it? Every week, I review financial plans from people all over this great country. I'm speaking live now in 4 cities. I'm working with advisors in 6 cities and building financial plans for people all over the place. And one thing that I can tell you is true, this industry is still a mess. No matter what city I'm in, I see the same things and I hear the same things over and over again. What is it that I see? I see retirees or potential retirees who have a portfolio of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds who believe somehow that that is a retirement plan. Their money's in 2 places, the market, which means it's at risk, and or the bank, which means it's not earning any interest at all. It's not even keeping up with inflation. The evil geniuses who run the marketing campaigns for the large joker broker firms have figured out how to take something quite simple, gambling your entire nest egg, and somehow they've taken that simple thing and they turned it into 40 to 80 pages of reports with beautiful pie charts all over the place. Yummy. The unsuspecting public is like, I love pie. Yes, joker broker, I will use only securities and risk my entire retirement because I love pie. What else do I see? I still see captive insurance agents offering only their low interest, low guaranteed income, high fee, crappy products and purposefully hurting the American public because that's their job. Sell what their company has to offer. That is the job. They have to hurt people for a living. In review, a captive insurance agent is one who works for one insurance company rather than being an independent broker or fiduciary. If their business card has the name of a large insurance company right on the card, that's a dead giveaway that they're steering you into what they're allowed to sell rather than what's best for you. The person must be independent, must be a fiduciary doing what's best for you. It's dumbfounding to me that that's still legal in this country, but for now, the SEC is not going to protect you. The insurance departments are sure not going to protect you. You have to protect yourself and get educated from this show, or the snakes in this industry will end up charming you to do their bidding. I also still see that the American consumer does not want to do the work of getting educated, but rather wants to rely on the old, outdated model that got us all into this mess in the first place. They still want to trust somebody blindly and not bother to hold them accountable for doing what's best for them. Though no one would ever want to drive blindfolded while a driving advisor shouted out instructions on which way to turn, we as a group still want someone to tell us what to do rather than to show up with our financial blueprints and tell the advisor what we want from them and say, this is what I expect of you, or you are fired. So that's what I'm still seeing out there, but what am I hearing, you ask? Well, thank you so much for asking that. That's so helpful. I have the best listeners. I'm still hearing things like, that sounds too good to be true, Charlie. Or, what if the insurance company goes out of business? Or, if that were true, why aren't more people doing it? Or, doesn't that limit my upside potential? Or, I don't want to tie up my money, darn it all. And the silliest and most misplaced comment of all, let me ask my CPA. Can you think of any other industry where someone would go to a person outside of the area of expertise to another professional who has not been trained to ask their opinion just because they trust them in their field? Would you run your plumber's advice past your interior decorator? Do you make sure your landscapers are comfortable with what your family doctor suggests before listening to his medical advice? If someone came to me and said, Charlie, you're a professional. You seem, good at your job. I trust you. My doctor suggested blah, 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 blah. What do you think, Charlie? Because I have integrity, I'd simply say, I'm sorry, but that's outside my area of expertise, and I haven't studied enough to comment on what you should do or what your doctor's advice would be. But CPAs, as a group, I'm sure there's individuals doing a good job, I just don't bump into them. As a group, have so lacked this integrity that when someone comes and says, my financial advisor or insurance agent suggests blah, 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 what do you think? They respond with a string of pathetic, ignorant barf that does untold amounts of damage to the unsuspecting American retiree or potential retiree. Let me say it again to the CPAs of the world. You are not financial advisors. Stay in your lane and stop hurting people by commenting on things that you know nothing about. Yes, most advisors out there are total complete idiots and give terrible advice without considering the taxes, and they don't involve the tax professional, and that is wrong. But CPAs and tax preparers do not respond by being idiots yourselves and then turn around and give terrible advice. That is not the answer. Your answer should be, that is not my area of expertise. Maybe you could even say this. Respond to your client who asks you about some financial advisor or insurance agent's advice. Why don't you respond by saying, you know what? I care about you. Let's get on the phone with your advisor and both learn why he or she is suggesting this. I don't find CPAs as a group to be very humble people that want to learn. I find them to be very arrogant who want to pretend that they know everything because they know one thing, which is a very small portion of the tax code. But if you're a humble CPA, do the right thing. Say, let's jump on the phone and find out what they're talking about. I'm not familiar with this. Join the cause and become a part of the windshield that helps people see clearly rather than being the mud spots that you've all traditionally been, hiding the truth from people and blinding them, causing them not to trust the person that gives them financial advice. Help them hold their financial advisor accountable. Listen to all these shows if you're a CPA. You'll know how to help your clients hold their advisor accountable. Other than that, I don't have any strong opinions on the subject of CPAs commenting on financial planning. Let's revisit something I talk about frequently. It does not matter if your advisor cannot or if they will not do what's best for your retirement. Either way, you must leave them. If you were going to hire a professional driver to drive you around wherever you wanted to go, would you hire someone who's blind? I hope not. Well, how about someone who can see, they have their eyesight, they're not blind, but they choose to drive with their eyes closed and be blind on purpose? Would you hire that person, big boy? I hope not. You see, the signs that your current advisor is not qualified to run your financial plan are just as obvious as if you were following a blind person driving a car. You could see it a mile away. They're swerving all over the road and running things over. Well, I can see that your advisor's not qualified a mile away. You have only securities, and you hope they take care of all 5 lives of retirement somehow, or you have insurance products all from some name brand company that has really high fees and bad products. It takes 2 to 5 minutes for me or one of my certified retirement renovators to see whether or not your current professional is even qualified to help you get to and through retirement. But you like them. You like them as a person. You've made it personal, not business. You want a relationship with them. You like trusting them better than you like singing clearly and letting truth guide you. Folks, this is business. This is not a relationship. This is business. There's a job to do, a job you need done, and you must hire the team that can do that job the best, not someone that you like or are related to. If your plan is set up properly, you might talk to your advisor once or twice a year. The only reason to speak more often to your advisor is if you're gambling with stocks and have an investment advisor that you like to speak with frequently, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, about your trades and the things you're going to be doing differently. But that's only one tiny part of your plan with the least important money. That's your in-crease accounts. Remember, in case, you set that up first, your emergency funds. Then you set up your income. Securities cannot do that. They do a terrible job. You cannot be safe taking your income from securities unless you have an extra $2, $3, $4 million you don't need and low income. The leftover money after you've purchased your paychecks and rightly invested your emergency funds, splitting them up from urgency, a small piece, and emergency, the big piece. The leftover money that you could afford to lose if you choose one of the growth strategies, which is securities, then maybe you might talk to your person more than once or twice a year. And it's still not a relationship. You see your landscapers more often than that. It's not a relationship. It's a professional partnership. You hire the person who does the job in the best possible way. If your financial plan has flaws, and I'm happy to speak to you and let you know if it does, then you know that your current advisor or team is not enough. Period. If you got where you are from their advice and where you are is not good, they must be fired as architects, as advisors. It doesn't matter if that's because they cannot do a better job, ignorance or being undereducated or working for a company that makes them sell only what they offer, or because they will not do a better job. It doesn't matter if it's because they cannot or because they will not do a better job, meaning they want higher commissions or they want annuity-like income for themselves, not you, so they put you all in managed money. Or they don't want to do the extra paperwork of multiple contracts and laddering and splitting up your annuities into smaller pieces for Roth conversions. Whether they can't do a better job or won't do a better job, it does not matter. You don't even have to find out if they're ignorant or immoral. Don't bother. It's a waste of time. You need to leave them. Fire them from that job. The financial planner job, the retirement planner, the architect, the designer. Fire them from that job immediately. You need to leave them and get a real financial plan and a real team. It's your money. No one will ever care more about your money than you. Let me tell you the one and only time I suggest people keep their current financial planner or financial planning team or investment advisor, and I just told somebody to do this who saw me speak and came in and talked to me. If you're with a money management firm, they use stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, and they try to grow your money. You pay them to gamble, basically, right? Because it's emotionally fun, and there's upside potential. That's the strength of that tool. And you don't experience great losses in down years like 2008 and 9. And you're checking, and they're beating the S&P 500, which you should be checking every year, quarter, however often you want to. You got to hold them accountable to be doing better than if you did not use them. If this show leads you to the truth that you need income tools in your plan, you need annuities providing a paycheck because nothing else is even competing at all right now with annuities, and that risk with a side of fees is not enough to be called a financial plan, then contact me, charlie@jewett.wealth.com, CHARLIE@JEWETT wealth.com, and I will help you with the first two pieces of your plan. We can do your in-case money. I'll show you how to make up to 7% on your cash and keep it totally liquid so you're beating the pants off the bank. We can set up your income accounts, set up the proper annuities, including proprietary products, but probably more importantly, laddering and withdrawal strategies and design using multiple annuities to increase your income by 10, 20, 30%. Most people can have 20 to 30% more income using the proper strategies than any advisor in your town is going to give you. If you believe this show, you believe the truth, you're conservative, or at least conservative to moderate enough to not risk all of your retirement lifestyle on just stocks, bonds, and mutual funds thinking they can do everything, then and only then, after you have set up those two pieces, in case and income with the proper amount of your portfolio, the leftover piece, your current investment advisor can compete for the job of being the person to manage some or all of that money. So after you've set up your in-case account and your income account, there's some money left over, and that's called your IN-Crease. Now, there's 3 places you can put your IN-Crease funds, and I'm not talking about getting into real estate and gold and buying goats and investing in businesses and blah, blah. I just mean 3 basic investment choices. You can do the no fees, no losses growth strategy, where no one's charging a fee and your account never goes down. There's just up years or sideways years. Or you can use the tax-free, no losses, low fee strategy, where it grows completely tax-free, has been averaging 8.2% for 30 years. No longer can we even illustrate how well it's done. They want us to tame it down and not show how well it's done, while the joker brokers are still allowed to show things growing at 10%, which never happens. So you could do no fee, no losses. You could do tax-free, no losses, low fee. Or you can risk your money and go for the gusto, and that's the stock market. If you choose number 3, for some reason, if you choose number 3, which most likely means you have money left over in IRAs, so you can't use strategy number 2, and you've hit the maximum amount of money you're allowed to put into annuities, so you can't use strategy number 1, so the only choice left is the market. If you choose that risk and go for the gusto strategies with some fees, then and only then will I ask you, do you feel that your current money manager is the best option, the best person in the entire country for growing this money? Highest growth, most safety, lowest fees. If you say yes, then we will keep your current advisor as a member of the team, but now they're going to be a subcontractor doing one piece. They cannot ever again be allowed to participate in the design or the architectural or the retirement planning. They proved that they do not have the knowledge or the ability to do that, or that they will not do that. So let me summarize this again. Your current plan, if you take it through the 5 Lives of Retirement test that I teach about in other places, long life, short life, rough life, sick life, and into the next life, and find out that it fails all 5 of them. Because all you have is a portfolio of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, and they fail all of those tests except for rough life. You can access as an emergency. If you fail that test, your current advisor must be fired as the financial architect, as the retirement planner. They might, it's very rare, they might remain on the team as someone trying to grow a portion or all of your IN-Crease money that's left over after you buy the paychecks you need and after you set up your emergency fund properly. You do not need to spend 1 second of your life trying to figure out why they screwed up or why they're as bad at their job as they are. You don't need to know whether they're immoral, whether they're a jerk, or whether they're just ignorant, they're undereducated. It does not matter. All you need to know is that you need to run, because this is business. Folks, this is Charlie Jewett with Renovating Retirement. I'm going to drop the mic. No, I'm not, because then you couldn't hear me, but I'm going to say out here in a minute. If you want to get in touch and have help from me or someone that I've trained in your area, get in touch with me. Charlie@JewettWealth.com, CHARLIE @JEWETT wealth.com, or you can call us on the 800 number, 888-285-2268, 888-285-2268. Follow me on Facebook, Renovating Retirement or Jewett Wealth Management, and you also follow me on Twitter, Reno_retirement. Charlie Jewett out. You people are the best.
Renovating Retirement with Charlie Jewett.
That's all, folks.